Good evening, I'm Jose Cardenas, an ASU conference focusing on the issues affecting the health of immigrants and minority populations. Plus, in Sounds of Cultura, SOC, the sounds of the Fiesta Mexicana Dance Company. And we'll talk about the centennial celebration taking place in the Valley for musician Chapito Chavarria. All this coming up next on Horizonte.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station.
Thank you for joining us. Studies indicate that new immigrants from around the world, many from poverty-stricken nations, experience better health and live longer than native-born Americans. This week in ASU conference, People on the Move, Journeys of Resilience Towards Health Equity, focuses on topics that affect the health of minority populations and immigrants. Here to talk about this is Flavio Marcilla, Director of the Southwest Interdisciplinary Research Center. Dr. Marcilla, welcome to Horizonte. Part of the reading material they gave me in advance is a Scientific American article entitled The Ethnic Health Advantage, and it talks about two populations in the United States that tend to outlive their richer, better educated neighbors. It says one of them is immigrants, and the other is what they call the Hispanic paradox.
Right.
Explain that.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and we all are researching it still after like 20, 25 years. And I think it's good news, mostly good news.
Most of the time you don't think of poverty as good news, but
no.
So what explains
but
that?
Good health is good news, and when we look at the conditions in which people live, and sometimes people are resource poor, but because they are resource poor, we merely think their health status will be not as good as the rest of the population, but the research data tell us that they're doing okay.
And part of that data, you and I talked a little bit before we came on the set about information regarding birth weights.
Correct.
Where you would have expected immigrant women to give birth to lower weight babies, and that's not what was happening.
The original research in this area was conducted with pregnant immigrant mothers, mostly coming from the nursing field. And they found that these immigrant mothers often did not go for prenatal care. They have very low socioeconomic status, very low income, and they gave birth to healthy babies, and they were okay, the mothers as well. And then they became surprised by this, because the numbers were showing that this was, the norm for these mothers.
How did they explain it?
And they started to say, well, it's not the income, it's not the prenatal care, it has to be something else. And when we don't know what it is, we usually say it's culture. And that's what we do in behavioral health often. And then our colleagues in nursing, and then like I'm from social work and sociology and other disciplines, medicine started to study the phenomenon. And yes, we think that there is something to do with culture of origin. The support of family. We know that in many cultures, the grandmother plays a key role. The friends, the aunts, the women in many cultures kind of come together at time of pregnancy and birth, and they provide a lot of support. Then it's more like a traditional way of living that in our more industrialized or post-industrialized societies, we tend to be more isolated. Then those support systems may not be there.
What about the fact of the immigrant experience itself, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what their cultural background may be, just the fact that they've made that effort to get to the United States?
Yeah, that's what the more recent research is kind of emphasizing. It's like we cannot just talk about immigrants and compare them with everybody else, but who is an immigrant? And usually those who leave their country of origin are the ones who are willing to take a risk, who are more entrepreneurial, who are healthier. Then there is already kind of a biased sample of people when you talk about immigrants, because the ones who make the choice to live in their country are probably the stronger ones. Then that's what we are researching more and more now. Then those comparisons become a little bit more real and clear. But still, when we control for many factors like that, overall, immigrants tend to be healthier. And we were speaking earlier about culture and food. You know, that's very important. I think the way we eat is very much connected to our culture, our norms, our values. And we know that many immigrant communities have a healthier diet.
So a lot of soups,
Fruits,
smaller
exactly,
portions.
Exactly. But over time, that may go away because we may become more Americanized, and then we walk away from the traditional diet. But that's happening in countries outside of the US as well. Like we see in Mexico, there is a big concern about obesity. And maybe there is a difference between the large cities and the small towns and rural areas. Then it's not just is the person from the US or not, but if the person is from another country, is he or she coming from the countryside or a large city?
And where they may have adopted an American lifestyle.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the Hispanic paradox, because
Yes.
the article, which I realize is several years old, but it identified Hispanics as yet
Right.
another exception to the norm, where if you have money, if you have education, you tend
Right.
to live a healthier, longer life.
Right. I think with the Hispanic paradox, the samples that were used mostly for those studies was mostly about Mexican immigrants. And I think they tend to do better than other communities when they are compared with other immigrant communities, especially other Latino communities.
And why would that be?
I think because most of the migration, especially to areas like Arizona and California, the people come from the countryside. Then I think it's my hypothesis that there's some connection to place of origin, where these immigrant families come from. Then they come already with a lifestyle. We work mostly in our center with young people. And what we found in a big study we did here in Phoenix, mostly South Phoenix and Central Phoenix, this is now a good 7 years ago, but we have done similar studies since then. We found the same thing, but that was the largest study. 7,000 middle school students, majority Mexican, Mexican-American, first generation, second generation. They have a much lower alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use rates than other children. But when we move to third generation, those children start to look more like their classmates.
So again, perhaps acculturation is occurring.
Acculturation is a big factor that we continue to study. There is something that we are trying to develop now is interventions that identify what is protecting this family or this child from bad health or bad behaviors that may lead to bad health, and try to identify what is protective and work with that to make it strong, not to let it go, not to disappear. Because if we don't work on it, acculturation may, in a way, take that protective factor away.
It'll erase the advantage.
Correct.
Let's talk about the conference that's coming up.
Yeah.
First of all, your center is the host, and you're sponsored, or you receive funding from the NIH?
Correct. We are a research center that studies health disparities and minority health, and is funded by the NIH Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities. And we like to always use the word minority health, and this is what this conference is about. It's about health, trying to understand the healthy family, the healthy child, and then work with them to maintain that good health status. Our keynote speaker is Bill Vega, Dr. Bill Vega from the University of Southern California, and he specializes in this area of research, the immigrant advantage of the Latino paradox, or the different names we have given to this phenomenon. Then he will provide us the most recent research that he's conducting in this area. But also we will work with the refugee community and mental health. Arizona is a receiving place for refugees from all over the world, mostly Africa. And our center also works with that community.
And do you find some of the same things there in terms of their physical well-being, or are they better off when they arrive here?
Yes. In the case of the refugees, many of them have left areas in Africa with war and other unnatural disasters, and then the level of trauma is sometimes so high that in a way it takes away some of those protective factors. Then it's a little bit more complex in terms of speaking about the immigrant advantage as refugee people. Many of them live in camps for many years. before they became eligible to come to the US. Then it's a very unique community, but very rich in culture and resources and assets as well, but also with trauma.
Dr. Messina, let me ask you this. The conference is subtitled A Journey Toward Health Equity. In what sense equity? Because given what you've said about the advantages that immigrants have and that Hispanics have in some respects, if you're journeying toward health equity, that would seem to be suggesting that you're going lower in poorer health.
Equity is also refers to access to services, not only equity in good health. Then for us to do what we're trying to do to maintain people healthy, then we need to be sure that people have access to quality care. And that's a concern in our community, that for many reasons people may not have access to care or quality care or competent care.
What kind of impact do you expect the Affordable Health Care Act to have?
Great. We think we have a great impact, and we hope that our community will benefit from it and
do you
will
think
enroll.
that'll be true despite the suggestions that immigrants, Hispanics, minority groups aren't as likely to sign up for the health care that's
a
provided?
concern, and there are many efforts now, grassroots efforts, health navigators and many community members who are helping our community members to really benefit from this amazing opportunity to get health care. Many of our community members don't go to the doctor until they're very sick, and then often it's too late. And also injury is very high because the kind of jobs many of our community members have. Then we need to do much more in terms of safety, education, awareness, and all that I think will be helped by the Affordable Care Act.
And all of this will be discussed at the upcoming conference.
It will be.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Always
for
something to
inviting us.
talk about
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure's ours. Fiesta Mexicana Dance Company has been in the Valley for almost 20 years. The company is the official dance group for the city of Phoenix. In Sounds of Cultura SOC, producer Yahira Jaquez and videographer Juan Magaña give us an inside look at what it's like to be part of the company.
Our dance company is called Fiesta Mexicana Dance Company.
It's helped me a lot, drastically.
We have dances from all over Mexico, and every region is different and has their own unique style in the footwork, in the costumes. And then of course we have all the Latin American countries. We have Central America and we have South America. We want to educate our community and our audiences and say that, wow, if we see influences of Africa or Asia, and then the community sees, well, you know what, there's more to the Hispanic culture than what we usually think. We try to be as professional as possible so that when our artists are on stage, you can attract attention and say, wow, this is in our community. These are kids that are our neighbors that are going to our schools. They're doing something very positive in the community. They're showing a part of a culture that maybe we don't know and we don't understand. Different generations that have been here many years, still that's part of their culture. And they want to make sure that their kids continue and learn about their culture so that they don't lose touch with where they're from.
This whole experience has changed my eyes from my perspectives and everything, and I really am proud from where I come from and all.
We're also a nonprofit organization, and so we don't ever close the door to anyone who really wants to be a part of this. A lot of the dance schools in the Valley are very expensive, so this gives everyone a chance to be a part of something and try it at least. And if they see that it's not for them, but at least they tried something that maybe they normally would not have had the chance to do. When you dedicate yourself fully, it's a lot of work. And some parents sometimes get frustrated because they think, oh no, you know, practice every day, and then we have performances every weekend. It's tough. It's tough on families. But as time goes on and they see how their kids change, maybe they're more outgoing, they're not as afraid, they're not as shy, they're not as timid, they realize that it is something very special in their kids.
It's hard. It's hard work. Like, I've done a lot of stuff, and this is like one of the most hardest things I've done.
I think that we can find out, through dance, that we have much more in common than what we realize.
Fiesta Mexicana Dance Company performs every weekend at community events and venues. You can watch their next performance at Desert Sky Mall in Phoenix on Sunday, April 6th and April 20th at 3 in the afternoon. This Sunday, the Musical Instrument Museum, known as the MIM, will honor musician, bandleader, composer, and arranger Rafael Chapito Chavarria with a centennial celebration and exhibit dedication. Joining me to talk about this celebration and the life and impact of Chapito Chavarria are Celina Chiarello, MIM Public Programs Manager, and Ray Gambi Salazar. Ray is a well-known entertainer and vocalist who performed in the early 1950s. Thank you both for joining us on Horizonte. Ray, the introduction we just gave you makes it sound like that's the last time you were on the stage. That's really when you started performing at the age of 5.
At the age of 5, and I've kept on even till today. I'm singing this concert.
And you started with Chapito.
I started with Chapito dancing, being their floor show at the age of 5, and now I'm singing those tunes. I'm going to sing those tunes that I danced to.
We're going to come back to that in a moment, but let's talk, Celina, about the MIM and what you're trying to do with this particular program.
Well, this is building off of a concert that we had back in September with Chapito and his music. We held it in our MIM theater. And we really want to show Phoenix, those people who already know and those who don't know who Chapito is and why his music was so influential to Arizona. And so this program is not only a birthday celebration for Chapito, but it marks the opening of his exhibit within our I Am AZ Music display in the USA Canada Gallery.
Let's talk about what's in the exhibit.
Well, we have a lot of Chapito's instruments and also instruments of those he played with. We have a saxophone, we have handwritten scores, we have a upright double bass, and all of those will be installed and on display.
Ray, as Celina said, this is a birthday celebration as well as a concert.
That's right.
Chapito is about to turn 100.
100 years old.
And what kind of shape is he in there?
In great shape. In great shape. His mind is intact. I sat down with him the other day and I was amazed. I was amazed how intact that, or how age hasn't bothered him at all.
Let's talk about Chapito in his heyday. Why was he such a big name?
Because of his style of music. You know, he incorporated the Mexico City's music, rhythms, their music. He incorporated them to Arizona.
It's a pretty sophisticated sound for the time.
Sophisticated sound, plus doing, the American swing at the same time. So he was, setting down the patterns of the musics. Like I said, jazz, swing, and Tropicana.
And he truly is an Arizona legend. He was born in Tempe.
He was born in Tempe.
What was his life like? What was he dealing with as he was coming up as a musician?
Chapito was always a perfectionist, and everything that had to be done correctly. His music, when he wrote it, he sat down and it was all written correctly. Practice. He also worked for the city. He worked for the city. He retired from the city. So he worked both jobs, but he was always playing,
And he toured to other parts of the country.
And toured to other parts of the country, Kansas, all over, embellishing this music.
So Celina, how important is it to the MIM to recognize Chapito? I know it's part of your outreach efforts to the Hispanic community. Let's talk about that.
Well, we're a new museum. We're going to turn 4 this month, actually. And it's really important for us overall to connect with different communities in the Phoenix area. Phoenix is so diverse, and one of the communities that we have to connect with is, of course, the Latino community. And I think this is a way to do that, to reach into that heritage that is Arizona music, and put it on this platform with all of these instruments and different forms of music from around the world, and show that it belongs here. You know, it's part of Arizona's story, and it's also, you know, a part of this global story of music.
Let's talk about the experience that people are going to have when they go out for this big celebration, which is April 6th, is
April
that right?
6th, this Sunday.
So what are people going to be able to do?
Well, the museum is open from 10 a.m. until 5, and the festivities will run from noon until 4. We will have an exhibit dedication and a birthday toast to Chapito that will kick things off. We'll also have music and dancing from 2 to 4 with the Chapito Chavarria Orchestra, and you're going to be singing.
That's right. That's right.
We'll also have a photo booth. There's going to be birthday cake. There's going to be food and drink available for purchase, a chance to try your hand at drumming and different percussion instruments. So it'll be fun for all ages.
Now, the last time you had a concert that focused on Chapito, you were sold out.
We were.
I think it'd be fair to say that the MIM is not located in the heart of the Hispanic community. What was the attraction?
It was Chapito himself, really. We really got the word out through word of mouth, through his friends and his family and those who had seen him perform. That was really the main demographic, were people who had been dancing in the 40s and the 50s, and they brought their family members so that they could see this music that they had loved so much.
Ray, when Chapito was in his heyday, it was ballroom dancing, it was the Calderon Ballroom. You were there doing mambo, as I understand. So how do you make that relevant to the younger generation?
Well, that's just wrong, and that's why I'm here, you know, to try to keep it or bring it back alive, because that is our heritage in this town. People believe that, you know, like polkas and all that, which is beautiful. I love all kinds of music, but that wasn't our music in this town. It was a tropical music, and people the young people gotta learn this and keep this heritage. Know where they come from. Know that they're not alone, you know, and we're here and we have a history, and let's keep it alive.
Now, you're doing a number of things to keep it alive. One of these activities is the concert. There's also, as I understand, a documentary that's being done.
A documentary, Paige has been working it, right now it's being edited.
Paige Martinez.
Paige Martinez is working on it. And right now it's in the editing position. And she wants people to get involved. And the way they can get involved is by go to chapitodocumentary.com, and if anybody has old pictures of Chapito, you know, because he's played for everybody's wedding, you know, if they got old pictures or whatever, music, or bring it down or down to chapitodocumentary.com. And if you go out and get involved in monies, $10, $20, whatever you can afford to get this documentary done, you can do that Kickstarter.com.
People can go online and they can contribute. So then I understand that there is going to be some footage from what Paige has already done so far that's going to be on display.
Yes, we're going to have a monitor with about 12 minutes of footage. And I really don't know what's on there yet, so it'll be a surprise for everyone. So it's never been seen before. It's footage from her documentary.
And we're talking about a museum, which to most people implies some kind of, you know, this is the past. How do you make this relevant to the younger audience?
Well, I think that's a challenge for any museum, but I think MIM is really unique in that we engage people in a very different way. All of our objects are out in the open. There are a very few things that are behind glass, behind vitrines. We also utilize technology in a really unique way through our GuidePort system. So everyone who walks in the door of the museum gets a headset, and you can hear the instruments. So you're not just looking at something, you're engaged with it. So you're listening, you're looking, and you're having this really unique sort of intimate experience along with a lot of other people who are at the museum at the same time. And I think that appeals to people who want to use technology to learn and to engage.
So Ray, give us a little bit of a hint as to what the show is going to be like on Sunday.
There's going to be this band has been refined by Chapito. Chapito handpicked everybody, and he's got The last time that we did the concert, Chapito got up and danced, and he was dancing.
At almost 100 years.
At almost 100 years. Just so excited about this band because it's vibrant and they're going to hear his music but alive.
And they're not going to see you dancing the mambo, but you're going to be singing.
I'll be dancing too.
Okay, great. All right. Well, congratulations to both of you, and thank you for joining us on Horizonte to talk about what sounds like a marvelous Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Jose.
That is our show for tonight. From all of us here at 8, Arizona PBS and Horizonte, I'm Jose Cardenas. Have a good night.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station.